Okay, we're now going to look at the other type of bond, which is called a covalent bond. And the ionic bond, we've had one atom give another atom electrons. A covalent bond is when they share electrons. For example, hydrogen gas has the formula H2, and that's because there's two hydrogen atoms in there. Each hydrogen atom only has one electron. But if they share the electrons with each other, then they now have a share of two electrons, which is the full outer shell. Oxygen comes as O2, also two oxygen atoms. This is a little bit more complicated. Oxygen has 6 electrons. So it's a second oxygen atom. It has 6 electrons. If it each shares 2 electrons with the other oxygen, so we have 4 electrons being shared. Again, each oxygen now has a share of 8, so it has a full outer shell. It's happy. This is called a double bond, whereas this one would be called a single bond. Now we're going to react hydrogen with oxygen. I'll show you that in a minute. And we actually burn the hydrogen and oxygen. We get water. And if you can see water, we have the 6 green electrons from oxygen. They're not really green. Each oxygen shares one of its electrons with a hydrogen, and here 1 electron with a hydrogen, and hydrogen shares its electron with oxygen. So if you count up oxygen's electron, it's 8, it has a full outer shell. Hydrogen, because it's only filling up the first shell, only needs 2 to have a full outer shell. H2O, water, covalent bonding. Okay, just going to show you how we burnt the hydrogen. So we popped some magnesium into some hydrochloric acid, and you can see the bubbles. That's hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas is not very dense. It's like helium gas. It's very light, so we have to trap it by putting a hand on the card so it doesn't sort of shoot out the test tube. Then I'm going to be lighting a splint and placing that splint on the hydrogen gas. See if I can do this. And you can hear that pop was the burning of the hydrogen and oxygen gas to make water. We don't see the water. This is an exothermic reaction. The water will have gone into the atmosphere as steam. Okay, as you saw, when we burnt hydrogen with the oxygen in the air, we had to apply a flame, and that flame is to provide energy to break the bonds of oxygen and hydrogen so that they can recombine to form water.